So basically, Steve and Steven have rebranded to Goontopia, and it may not go over well with some fans.
The expression is gooning, Gooning.
It's called gooning, and the left wants to ban it completely.
Listen, here's the thing. I love gooning. So get up, dust off, goon.
Yo,
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
All right, we're going to call the interruption counter at 1.
Okay, yeah.
But don't think I'm not keeping track for you,
Okay.
too. All right, everybody, this is a special edition of Goontopia. I don't even know when you're listening to this because it's going in the reserves. It's in the vault.
It is. It's going to come out, but it's a timeless classic, though. We're treating this more like a movie than a day-to-day news cycle episode.
This is a special. And in the special is March Madness. So you might not be listening to this in March, but we have a bracket for you. We have a bracket of all the stuff that we talk about on the show that we goon over.
Mm-hmm. I'm so excited. Steven has made an intense bracket. I haven't even looked at it. Ready?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Here we go.
So we've got 64 competitors here.
Uh-huh.
And we've got a bunch of different wings and sections. And so it's kind of fucking not, you can't see it all at once, apparently.
Okay, that's all right. Well, we'll just zoom in and go one seed at a time.
Yes. So it's not seeded. It's an unseeded tournament. Now, because it was just like, if I put the top one number 1, then that's who I would want to win.
Oh,
the whole
I
way
see.
through. So it's kind of, if I seed it and then I go through it. But what I did is I put everybody in quadrants.
Okay.
Right. So we have like a comedian quadrant. We have a Mossad quadrant. We have a too cool for school quadrant, a politics quadrant. So you'll see. So starting off, we'll just get right into it if you're ready to go. And
I
so
got a question, though. So we have to both agree upon the winner before we proceed?
Yes.
So that's where it will get interesting if we disagree upon something.
Yes.
Or leave it to a diplomatic coin toss.
So in the case of a tie, we will re-adjourn, we'll discuss again, and then we'll take another vote. If this happens 3 times over, then we'll flip a coin, and that's just gonna have to decide. So no, if we really can't decide, we'll flip a coin. But we'd like to see some teamwork here.
Yeah. So this is obviously a practice round, right? The number 1. You know, I thought the seeds were called seeds because the bracket could kind of look like a flower or like roots. You know, all the players and teams are their own seeds, and it's the tree of March Madness. But
it's not. That could be it. I mean, where does seed come from?
I don't.
Damn.
What came first, the seed or the penis?
So you're right. The first one sort of is a layup that we should just agree on. And I guess the objective of this too is what? That it's what we like to goon to the most. Is what we like talking about. We like going through and covering, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that really it?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. So Sam Hyde versus Whitney Cummings. This really is like a 1 seed versus a
33rd seed.
Yeah, so this is again part of the early. This is the trans pairing. Each matchup has its own name. This is the trans pairing because Whitney Cummings is slowly turning into a man as she ages, and Sam Hyde's losing his voice. Sounds trans Hyde.
Of course. And I'm gonna try to at least give a few, I don't know, pointers to Whitney before we, obviously dunk on her here. But
yes, and she will get a honorary medallion or something. I don't know.
She's a psycho, but she's a fun psycho to watch, and she is aware that she's a psycho. You know what I mean? Like up to the point where, not to the point where she's going to do something about it, but she's at least comfortable with who she is, which is honestly, that is more than the next 2 people that are down below can even say about themselves. So you got to give her a little bit of credit.
Yeah, the next 2 people below, they're totally oblivious to the, their chaos.
Yeah.
That ensues from what they do. Whitney is well aware. She can't stop it, but she knows about it.
So let's just, we'll go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off.
Okay.
Sam Hyde versus Whitney Cummings. So,
okay, Bert and Tom. Now this is really the 2 bears 1 cup bowl.
Yeah.
Cup bowl. And they're also bowl games. So yeah, Kreischer Segura. I mean, this is tough.
It is.
It's really, what do you like to sit through more?
Right.
And Bert does give a lot to us.
He does. But so does Tom. Tom gave us the Danny Brown podcast, and he gave us, what else did he give us? Making fun of retards on your mom's house. He gave us cuckoldry with the whole Theo Von railing his wife conspiracy.
That happened.
The funniest implication about that conspiracy is that Tom Segura's wife is attractive in any way, shape, or form. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I think
bag of bones. That's what I always tweet at her before I got banned from Twitter. No matter, even if you're listening a year from now, I'm still off Twitter.
Thanks, Elmo Musk. Gosh, this is tough. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who to pick. I'm inching towards Bert a little bit, but I don't know. I think your guess would be as good as mine.
I think I like Bert as well. Let's go with Bert. I think if I have, it's like in 10 years from now, I can't even imagine a world in 10 years where I'm still paying attention to what Tom Segura is doing.
True. Yeah.
Bert might still be like, he might be on dialysis. Or wait, no, that's for kidney failure. Wait, yeah. So yeah, there we go.
And he could be like in the iron lung or something. You know, someone's like pouring alcohol in his mouth while he's in the iron lung. Now this is interesting because I just got to say, I mean, I know my choice, heart and soul, because the whole time I was thinking that Greg is he's gonna go far. But you have thrown a very interesting opponent, someone who I thought was going to go farther than I would have initially have planned when we were making the list was Rick Glassman. So now I'm at a standstill here. But all I'm going to say before I let you also chime in is we didn't watch a Rick Glassman clip before we started the podcast. That's all I'm going to say.
Wait, what's the point of that, though?
We watched a Greg Turkington clip before we started recording just now, which to me is a sign.
I thought you meant like before we started this whole the enterprise that is Goontopia.
No.
Okay, that's true. It's almost not fair. But you know that you love Rick.
Well, I do. I do actually like him. And you know, the thing, it's like with Greg, I saw him, the moment I saw him, I knew I liked him. Rick, I hated him. But he's grown on me over time. So it's almost like he's given me a bigger range of emotion. This is tough, dude. You have really done a great job.
It only gets better.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead and I'll let you weigh in.
Well, I think we're going to go with Greg.
Yeah.
I think you're doing the due diligence for Rick. Rick is great. I think he tries a lot, and I like to watch his stuff, even though he's totally autistic and rude to people. That's sort of the joy of it for me.
It is. And it used to be like, so your shtick is that you're autistic and rude? Oh, cool. Never heard of that before. But then you watch it and you're like, oh, I actually do kind of like how he's autistic and rude. So.
Well, it's kind of like if you are that autistic, you really don't have a choice because you're either confused and you're never in on it, or you just become the alpha and take over and you just bully people and they can't figure out how you're doing it.
Yeah.
And that's really how you win.
True.
That's how we win, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the next one.
This gay Tom Myers, he ain't never gonna be on Rogan like I was. I mean,
I'm just trying to think of what Tom would say, but remember, what was the thing that Tom was stealing from Cat Williams? Or no, Cat Williams stole from Tom because Cat Williams did a Baltimore joke, so Tom's like, yep.
Oh, yeah. Was that on his like Instagram or something? Okay, let me see if do you think that's recent enough to pull up?
I would almost Google, because Instagram results come up. I'd put in like Tom Myers, Cat Williams, just to see if we can get a result.
Kayat, like Guyat. Guyat Williams.
Oh, damn, Joe. That's a big Kayat. Cat.
But we know that Cat Williams stole from Tom.
Yes.
So I think we got to go with, I mean, you know what? I can sit through hours of Tom. It was laborious to sit through Joe Rogan and Cat Williams talking.
I had to have a friend with me to do it.
Exactly.
Tom Myers, I could watch alone.
Exactly. Now
that's going to be a crazy matchup next round.
I'm not even looking ahead to see what.
There's the only way you can do it. Okay, now we get into what I call the Fat Quadrant. So these next two matchups, 5 and 6, they're the Fat Quadrant matchup. So we've got Shane Gillis versus Stavros Halkias. Now, Stav, I almost don't know that we can defend him anymore.
I know.
I will say this. If Cumtown didn't have a laugh track, it probably wouldn't have blown up. And almost like maybe I would have only laughed at half of Nick Mullen's jokes.
Yeah.
So I like Shane here. I think Shane's still trying to do good sketch comedy, and he kind of bridges the gap between the normies going on SNL and stuff and being friends and praising people like Sam Hyde, our #1 seed. So
no, that's true. Well, you know what? We may need to get the coin out for this one because Shane Gillis, I know he likes SNL. SNL being Sam Hyde's Instagram account. Shane Gillis likes Sam Hyde, but so does Will Sasso. And Will Sasso is already like in the industry and has been vouching for MDE. Shane hasn't brought anything new to the table. And I do kind of cringe when I see Shane on Andrew Schultz's podcast and they laugh at a person with Down syndrome, which class, why do they laugh at the person with Down syndrome? Because they have Down syndrome. But then Shane comes in and he goes, you know we're not laughing because he has Down syndrome, right? You know that's messed up. And it's like, shut the dude, you joke about how you look like you have Down syndrome. Don't be drawing this moral line.
He invented a cousin or a niece or something with Down syndrome so he could keep telling Down syndrome jokes everywhere.
Exactly.
So you've made some good points. Although I will say, I don't know what Stav's added to anything besides, the lack of food on the table.
I will say
added by the lack of food. Yeah.
Yep. Reverse floated. Well, him being absent on the Adam Friedland show, I think goes to show how important his retarded fat ass was for Come Town. So that's my argument for Stav.
But this is today, you know, could he still be doing it? He was already sort of petering out.
That's true.
No, not a fat joke. Not a Family Guy fat joke. Petering out.
See you later. I'm Stavros.
Yeah, I'm Stavros.
Yeah, those Baltimore Ravens Ronnie videos.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's tough nowadays with Stav. But by the end of Come Town, even 2 years ago or whatever, he was kind of, you know, not
Absent.
engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gosh, I almost want to flip a coin to see if we're going to go with the old Stav or the new Stav, but we should go with the current Stav.
I like Stav. Let's go with Stav.
Okay. Tough to say. I mean, now this next one, here we go.
I just don't want the coin to decide. I'd be fine with Stav moving on.
Okay.
So.
Jeez. Okay, so we've got Joey Diaz and Tim Dillon.
Yes.
Team D-Ron.
Now,
I'll try
this
to
is
keep
maybe
in
the
middle.
more active of the two fat quad and the two fat matchups.
They're like two fat people who think they're skinny, you know, because Joey Diaz is always like, you know me, I don't mind jujitsu. And then Tim Dillon's like, I hung out with. Who's the guy who does Best Friends with Dave Portnoy?
Oh, Josh Richards.
I hung out with Josh Richards.
Yeah.
Hot boy. Josh Richards was in a movie that my wife and I watched this past weekend, Theo Vaughn.
What did he do?
Yo, what's up? He was an influencer. He played an influencer in this Nicolas Cage movie. It was called like Dream Scenario. It was a cool movie. But anyway, Tim Dillon versus Joey Diaz. I mean, geez, I don't know. Do you have any initial thoughts on this matchup, this fat up matchup?
I do think Tim is the favorite here. I think Joey has to be really disgruntled to enjoy, i.e. when he's talking about like Red Bar or something. So
Yeah.
I would say that's most of my Joey Diaz enjoyment, you know, comes from other people stirring him up. Tim Dillon, it's same old song and dance over and over again with the, you know, whatever Epstein references, the Glenn
business guy.
Yeah, the real estate references. So I don't know. Could we advance neither of them?
Seriously, yeah. Can they run a 100-meter dash and whoever's up and alive at the end of it, they can be the one who wins? Can we do a simulated fat person race? See, this is what we need like machine learning for, to instantly call this up so they can like give us the stats and the weights of both of them.
Well, maybe I'll close my eyes and just picture it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm seeing Tim tripping Joey at the beginning and then Tim walking and winning narrowly.
all right, he's going to be going against Stav next round.
Here we go. Now, Tim and Bill and Tim, this is the two people who could be in their own movie together based off their first name.
They're two people that look red during the summer.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. Like a, you know, a UK kind of thing. Irish and I don't know what Heidecker is. What is that? Like, I don't know what that is.
Maybe that is German. Oh, yes, I am Team Heidecker.
Yeah, that could be.
Now, when they're paired up against each other, I'm trying to think.
I mean, we just like Tim more now at this point, right? I mean, Bill Burr was funny at one time. Then he got married to some dog.
Right. And he's gayer than Tim is, too. Because the stuff that Tim even jokes about, and you'll find this when you go back and watch On Cinema at the cinema. And this kind of does piss me off about Tim Heidecker, is how much he was kind of against Sam Hyde when his humor was very, very similar to Sam. Like, he would say some pretty offensive stuff. I was shocked to hear the things he would say just as a joke. But then when it's all under the guise of, oh, it's just a bit, he seems to be very comfortable with saying a lot of stuff. But anyway.
Whoa, I didn't know you were going to come after Tim like this.
I know. Well, it's just something I noticed. Doesn't mean I don't like him, because I do.
I don't know that we know, how much did he go after Sam's comedy?
Well, I think Brett bitched to Tim about the Adult Swim show. And then Tim, probably just to get Brett off of his shoulder, told the executives about the show, and then it got canceled.
No, see, you know that I don't subscribe to this theory anymore. That I think Sam totally tanked the show. So I don't think Tim's culpable at all.
I don't know. I think
Brett probably bitched to Tim Heidecker, but
Yeah.
I don't know that Tim was actively trying to get Sam's show off.
Well,
I think history is showing us a different story now, because Sam and Charles had the whole falling out, and I still think that it was Sam's fault. So
I agree with all of that. I'm just saying that Tim's involvement is not, I guess we are saying the same thing. I'm saying Tim's involvement in the show getting canceled wasn't as malicious and targeted. It was more like, okay, Brett, this bothers you, whatever. Hey, Will, or whoever is in charge of Adult Swim, can you look into this? You know? But yeah, anyway, sorry. Yeah, Tim we're going with Tim, because Bill, I mean, he hasn't done anything remotely good in the last 10 years. Dude, you got to watch my Netflix movie, Barbecue Dads. I was in a movie with Pete Davidson, for crying out loud. This is an even better one. Here we go. We've got
Yeah, the Schneider brothers. So you'll know Rob Schneider. He's the conservative anti-vax one. And then Dan, his older brother, is the Nickelodeon guy that we just covered in episode 10 that you heard months ago, probably.
Yeah. From a while ago.
From a while ago in episode 10. So, who's funnier?
I mean, Dan Schneider is obviously funnier.
Yeah.
But who wins? I don't know.
Rob Schneider's gone way over the hill, though. He's just so boomer brained, and he's just on his conservative politics stuff in defiance of like all his comedian friends. Where he just like can't go anywhere without talking about vaccines.
Yeah. And I guess he's been escorted off of the stage when he's like opening for Adam Sandler because he just quickly falls into a rant about vaccines and whatnot. But one thing I will say about Rob, despite how unpopular he is and like the fact that he only has like 10 fans, he still keeps moving like he's famous.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to give that to him. Dan Schneider, a few allegations come out and he leaves Nickelodeon and then he comes back years later with the fucking bagel guy, Tebow. Not impressed by Dan in the slightest by that. So
actually I could go the rest of my life without ever even talking about him. In fact, I didn't even want to make any points for him, which means that we really ran our course on Dan Schneider in episode 10 of Goontopia. So Rob Schneider, I guess, is in the second round, even though we've never talked about him on the show.
Yeah.
We just needed him there for, the Schneider Bowl. Okay, so sort of the same build, I guess.
This is so good. I'm trying not to look at the ones below, but they're too good. So we've got... Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have Sean, or wait, no, sorry, I'm reading ahead too. John Taffer. Sean Taffer. That's
Sean Taffer.
My way of roasting him. John Taffer, who's sort of the same build as the Master Debater. Now, the Master Debater, the Icon has both guy, otherwise known as.
Why not both? Should we pull him up? You think he'll come up?
Just in case people don't remember him. Oh, and by the way, we're officially in the too cool for school. So these guys are both too cool for school. They sort of make their own rules, go about life in their own way.
You need to pick one. I refuse the question. You can't refuse the question. I do.
It's been a while since we got a new Wojo.
Oh my God.
Was around talk. Question was attempting to get the passerby.
Okay, so we're not going to do audio. So you guys know this video. Now that you see the face, you can figure out who he is. So
I guess the biggest problem with having him on the list or on the bracket is that we've only seen him once and we actually don't know, but he does live on as a mystery and it does make you want more.
Yeah. And we do kind of mention him still. We'll both be like, why can't you have Wolf? Like, I love to say it like that. Wolf.
But we can't goon to him more than that one interview. So it is tough. John Taffer has built an entire empire.
He has. And we have clipped him from Goontopia too. So I think we're going to have to go with John. He's the Goon King. He's got, 250 Goon sessions? He calls them episodes. I call them Goon sessions that he has out on Paramount Plus. And now this is a good one. This is going to be quite competitive. Oreo Man versus Sean Evans. So these are still
could you imagine this interview first off? Sean Evans interviewing Oreo Man.
I know. Well, they should switch their specialties because Oreo Man specializes in cologne, right? And Sean Evans specializes in chicken. So it's almost like they'd be a match made in heaven.
Because white guys like cologne.
Yes. That's the only reason. The chicken other thing is coincidental.
I don't know. This is maybe the pairing that makes the least sense. I don't know. I guess the John Taffer one doesn't make sense either. This was the too cool for school makes the least sense. Okay, but if Oreo Man's on Sean Evans and he's doing the deep dive, he's gonna totally alpha him. I see. Maybe that's See, so Oreo Man I could watch endlessly.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Oreo Man.
He would just be talking in circles, and Sean wouldn't be able to get through to him.
No, and Sean would be confused because he'd be like, "I've asked 3 different questions and I've gotten the same answer each time." He wouldn't even know what to do. So
I don't care. I ain't getting no pussy. I ain't getting no bitches. My daddy told me I was a loser. And my new sample cologne. Yeah.
Black bitches, Sean.
So Oreo
don't want me. I mean, this is gonna be fucking crazy. I'm not even ready. So then we have Steve from Blue's Clues versus Dave Portnoy.
We've really only talked about Steve once. I do think Dave, it's sort of the repetitive thing. He's sort of the same thing all the time. Well, I mean, what has Steve from Blue's Clues done for us?
Oh, he did something today. Let me see.
What?
I'll show you this because now you're still banned on Twitter. So I actually replied to this because I was so angry about it. Yes. So Steve from Blue's Clues uploaded this video as a response to the rape documentary. Kids are getting raped, and this is the best thing he can come up with.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me, What's going on?
And he just sits there for a minute because you know how
Oh
in Blues.
my god, I just got it. I'm so
Yeah,
slow. Holy.
yeah. So that's fucking Steve Burns from Blues Clues. This is his contribution to kids getting raped. Is that remember me in the show when I did this? And he's like LARPing as I'm hearing you out with his Riddler Paul Dano glasses.
Oh my god, look how many wrists he's got, bracelets, and then the
I know he's got more bracelets than I. Oh, he's showing them off too. Yeah.
oh my god, it said Steve.
Yeah.
Well, I just saw ST, so it has to be Steve.
Good gosh. So
Oh my god, he has a bracelet that says Steve.
does he talk at the end? Let me see.
Okay.
Okay.
What, dude? What if the story is I got raped and it takes more than a minute to tell you it? You're done.
Yeah.
It's good to hear from you.
Now
Well,
play,
hey, I'm not
play,
done.
the, play the video over if you want to. That would be fun if it looped like that.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
just listening endlessly. Okay.
So
All right. I didn't even want to see him. Dave,
yeah.
don't worry. I gave Ben Avery a layup too.
What's the dude?
All right. Now we have Jeff Bliss, the Packet Kid,
Uh-huh.
and George Floyd, two guys that didn't want to follow the rules.
Yeah.
And somebody in authority had to take, use their power and abuse them.
And their viral moments were both recorded by not them, and they didn't even know they were being recorded.
They
too.
were
That's what's-
heroes without, it couldn't have been planned either way
Yeah.
because they were both heroes of their own story. And
Scrolling's a little weird, but that's okay. I'll fix the
you have to
scrolling.
scroll within though, I think. Like within.
That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Sorry.
I'll bring him up here, and I'm not. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm trying not to look. Okay, Jeff Bliss, Packet Kid versus George Floyd. This is a real tough one, actually. I don't know. I'm dude, it's a toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Bliss is like an OG. We've talked about him before, and I think about him all the time. And we all went to high school with somebody who was like, yo, the packet system has just corrupted the children's brains. And it's like, dude, you've missed class for like 2 months straight. And it's like, I don't know, those people are like sources of endless amusement. So
Yeah, there'll always be a Jeff Bliss, but maybe that's what makes him not so unique, really.
yeah.
But he does exist. It's sort of like the story of Hercules. It's like we all
Yeah.
know a Hercules in our life.
Absolutely.
And
There's only one George Floyd.
there's only one George. It's also 4 years later, and we're still talking about him. Although Packet Kid might be like
he's
4
like
years
10 years old.
So, I don't know. George Floyd is, what I want to move on. George Floyd versus Dave in the next round.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. But also, could you imagine like the intellectual conversation of Jeff Bliss versus Dave? Like who can out stupid the other person by thinking they're smart?
That's why in the future, when we do different brackets, we need to like change the parameters. Like who would just win in a battle to the death.
Okay, yeah.
Or like in a
fist
battle
fight.
of words.
I'm still leaning on I'm still leaning on Packet Kid. Maybe do we need to get the coin out for this one?
Dude, George Floyd is like an icon to us. I almost made like him part of, he's in the what was it? The Too Cool for School part of the bracket.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he was going to be in like the icon bracket. It was going to be just like George Floyd and Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if I ever have like the news on and I hear Jeff Bliss, the Packet Kid, I'll kind of like peek my head up.
If you heard George Floyd, you'd
It's like
shit.
clockwork. It's like clockwork. When I hear George Floyd, I'm like, what? Who said it? What? Who said George Floyd? Let me hear it.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. I
Okay.
agree. We'll do George
No,
Floyd.
I'm so glad.
I had no beef with George Floyd. I had to. Okay.
Okay, we're now into the podcasting quadrant.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Dave
This
Rubin
is the Jewish part of the podcasting quadrant.
versus Red Bar. Dave Rubin versus Red Bar. I mean, I can't even come up with something to help Dave Rubin here.
He's so bad, it's funny though sometimes.
That is true. His logification of life, where he said, if we got rid of the post office tomorrow, the free market would step in to help us. But
Well, that's true, but but I don't know. And then all the times how he has to try to like find ways that being gay is okay with
Yeah.
being like on the right, where he's like making arguments for a
conservative sodomy.
as long as they're conservative, two gay conservatives.
Yeah. As long as they're dressing their kids up as a trans in the privacy of their own home without the government intervening, it's fine. I mean, if we just went through the clips on our phone, I mean, as a comparison, how many Dave Rubin clips are saved on our phones, and how many I did 2 Red Bar clips saved on my phone today that I plan on sending to you later.
It's Red Bar.
Yeah.
Mike Mike in the wild.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be up against Red Bar. Yeah, not for long, Ben.
We're gonna let Ben move on.
Yeah.
But we are gonna say that Joe Honestly, I've spent a lot of time listening to Joe Rogan over the years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fact. We've all had phases, and it's not even because we like him at this point, but when he has Cat Williams on, you can't miss.
Right. When you have movies like Tom Cruise in them, you can't miss. You can't go wrong. Okay.
We are officially in the Grindset mindset part of the bracket, I guess is what we're going to call it. So that would be this is that quadrant. So the next 4 people. So we've got Nardwar versus Jocko Willink.
Nice. Okay, so I guess to give some credence to Jocko, he's in our intro. But I mean,
Nardwar was in our old intro, though.
Yes, he was. That's true.
Our first intro.
And he brought us a gift. Remember the Mr. Steven? I have a gift for you. He brought us a garden record.
Right.
Mr. Steven, I have a gift to you.
He brought us a horse shit on Route 66, which was very nice of him to do.
Vinyl.
What did Jocko? Jocko just yelled at us and told us to goon, you know?
Goon.
So.
And I told him, well, and the thing with Jocko too is when we talked to Jocko, I said, look, even if I'm getting up at 4 and I'm going to bed at 7 p.m., I'm sleeping more this way. Yeah. Did I say that right? What time does he wake up?
He wakes up at 4:30.
Okay, well, I'm going to get up at 3:30 and go to bed at 6 p.m. Is that virtuous?
That's
Nardwar only brings joy to people.
He does.
He brings joy to us.
And he's been grinding he's been doing these interviews for like 30 years, you know? So, I mean, come on. He's the true veteran. I'd give him a discount before this midget meatball. What's going on, guys? Essentially, this is tough because I like Davis Clark way more than I like John Tent. But John Tent, we literally reference him in every single podcast.
It's true.
It's so hard not to just do the, how's it going, guys? I have AIDS. Which, by the way, he tweeted some anti-gooning propaganda, John did.
Wow.
So I'm going to say we'll go with him.
You're pretty quick to just vote on it.
What do you think?
I'm just trying to think about how are we really deciding this? Because if, John sort of just does the same thing over and over. Well, I guess Davis Clark does too. God damn it.
Yeah, but Davis does have a shine to him that John does not have. So I'm kind of picking up what you're putting down here.
Davis, it's just the, don't even talk to me till I've had my coffee, but it's just the positive version of that.
Yes.
Where you see the Davis video in the morning and your day's just better. You have to get up, dust off, and goon, but it's not somebody bullying you into it. John can't even keep his shit straight.
Right. He doesn't even follow his own advice. Stay away from sluts.
But that makes him entertaining too, so.
Yeah, I know. But see, now I'm so easily swayed by intellectual discussion here, so I might be on Davis's side because of that. I mean, who's an overall benefit to society?
I might be on John now.
Because John does leave me feeling a little sour and like, I can't believe this fucking retard has any clout. Where Davis, I'm like, get this guy on Ellen or with something, I don't know.
Well, he will be, and they're already writing articles about him, so he may get too big for us, but John's never going to amount to anything.
That's true.
He'll always be our boy. He was our first interview.
He was.
So I kind of like John now. I don't know. I'm flipping.
Yeah, it's a tough call. No,
Should we flip a coin?
I think this is our first. Bring out the coin.
All right, what do you say? John's heads.
Yeah, John's heads.
Yo, boy, I'm tails or heads?
Give me head.
All right. We got tails. We got Wyoming. That means Davis Clark.
All right, Davis.
All right, now we are officially in the Mossad double quadrant.
Okay.
So, the Mossad double quad, as it were. First, we have the new $20 bill from the new $20 bill commercial from 20 years ago, and we have Vince Offer
from
ShamWow.
Exactly. And the underground comedy movie that he did.
I can't ever think of a funny answer when you put me on the spot, though. Maybe once, but
it'll happen.
I just think of the actual thing.
Well, when I find something funny, it's funny for at least 2 years. So you've got a year and 11 months.
I'll figure it out by then.
Come up with something, yeah. This is good because the new $20 bill could buy Vince Offer's ShamWow Ultimate Deal when you'd see it on TV. So that kind of makes me want to go with the new $20 bill.
Yeah, you'd still have a penny left over.
Yeah, and Vince, I don't know. Vince is, Vince had said some pretty rude stuff about Howard Stern, which, I think it's not a low blow, but just like it's not an intelligent thought to say that Howard Stern is woke today. It's like, yeah, he's old and retarded. That doesn't mean that he wasn't the greatest at what he did when he was around. It just means you're not unique by pointing out that he's a today. which, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, how much of that? I could probably watch that $20 bill ad like every day too. So.
Yeah. It's so cool.
So the $20 bill moves on.
Yeah.
Okay, Mossad Part 2. Shapiro versus Friedman. Who's...
You know, Shapiro was one of the first people we ever talked about.
Yes.
He was probably the second person we talked about. But Lex Friedman, we hit on numerous times. We did the dunking on Lex Friedman.
He's blocked us.
He's blocked both of us. Yeah. He probably made Elon, Mr. Musk, if I could please
have the Goon Bros blocked.
Could you please at least get rid of one of them, please? And I don't know. I can't make fun of him because he blocked me on Twitter. I can't make fun of his gay tweets. If everyone smiled today, the world would be in a better place.
I think Lex is much funnier to watch than Ben.
Yeah, Ben, it's like you know exactly what you're going to get. Here are the facts. I am a dippity boopity babbity bap. Yeah.
Well,
this will be interesting.
He is a rapper now, though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Lex rap, but
that's
true.
true.
Okay, now we have Tarantino, who lives in Israel, and Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. Netanyahu.
Now I want to go with Quentin, but you know Quentin lives within the city of Benjamin that Benjamin has created, so it's kind of tough to choose. So, but Quentin Tarantino went duck hunting with us on our old show, as he says,
true.
Episode 20. If you watch it, you'll hear it.
I went duck hunting with Steven.
Benjamin Netanyahu, what has he done for us?
Well, he is the epitome of gooning, though. He sort of embodies gooning because as soon as you think he's done being prime minister, he comes back like a few years later. So he's sort of just edging constantly. He's never really done or finished in Israel.
That's a good point. I was wondering what you were going to say to defend him, and that was a spot on. That was a good answer there.
But Tarantino's made a lot of good movies, and he probably, if I ever bumped into him in Tel Aviv, I would probably shit my pants. If I bumped into BB, not so much.
You'd be like, don't shoot me.
So I don't know if Tarantino, I mean, it would be funny if he, was a Mossad agent. He has a Jewish child, so he's good in my book. Tarantino.
All right. I agree.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right.
Damn. So Brett Gelman, also, well, we know about also, I was going to say also known as the Jewish gritty kid. They're not the same. So let's do whenever we have someone like that, we should just pop up who they are, just in case you forgot. I mean, he was in the first episode. I hate
Brett Gelman, and I don't like gooning to him, but he's on the list, so it's almost like a guarantee that this kid, I could watch this video 1,000 more times before I die.
I just wanted to watch it again.
I've been instructed, but are you recording me? Yes, you are. I hope you are. Okay, good.
And don't forget about the Zin in his pocket, people.
That I should do it.
Do the what? Do the what?
The grid. Because why? I don't know why. I'm making him happy. It's all life is about making your brother and your parents and your siblings happy.
When he's like smacks his, he goes to see, are you recording? Yeah, I mean, I love that guy. I love that video. I could watch it every single day. If he collaborated with fucking the Davis Clark, man, that'd be awesome. Oh, we're in the music scene now. Jeez. Okay, so John Mouse versus the Garden Twins. That's a deep cut for both of us. That's where we're really gonna. I mean, John Mouse is my pick.
Because I'm just gonna force the John Mouse Ariel Pink in the next round. So go ahead and do John Mouse. We love the Garden Twins, our most viewed video ever. Still, I think is the Garden video by far.
That is true. Maybe.
And I love MC Ride, but I love Ariel Pink more. You definitely love Ariel Pink more. So that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But we have defended MC Ride, and we don't think people should throw things at him at his own concerts.
Exactly. Don't do it. This is a good one here. Now, so this is the political.
This is the political pundit.
Now, Steven Crowder, we had exclusive footage of him arguing with his wife, and his wife said that she loved our old show, Steven. That's very special to us. Excuse me, I almost burped. And then Tim Pool was our first person that we ever talked about.
That's true. Episode 1, we did what was it called?
Timcast Wreckers. Yeah. So we listened to his gay song, his gay shoe wave song. Shoe dance.
I hate both of these people. I don't watch either of them regularly by any means, which would be, with my eyes, I guess, if I was watching them by any means. My eyes. But I got to go Steven Crowder because he's like, when he does the dress up as a girl thing, you can laugh at him. All thinks we're laughing with him. We're laughing at him. Tim Pool, I could hear Tim Pool's stupid voice coming from my coworker's office. And and I go, I can't listen to this anymore, and I have to put my headphones in.
And it's like at least Steven Crowder dresses up. Like Tim has worn the same outfit for the last 30 years.
That beanie stinks.
It stinks. So Steven Crowder, that is, you're moving up. Now we've got Anthony Fantano versus Tucker Carlson, two media giants.
Well, and this is, again, still the political realm because, as you know, Anthony Fantano dipped his toe in the waters, calling Kanye a racist or whatever.
Yeah, that was brave of him to do that. I applaud him for it's about time somebody said something about it, so I'm glad he did. And then you have Tucker applauding Russia, but then saying he hates Russia. So
I think Tucker just wins this. I don't know.
Okay.
We might start breezing through this first round.
Okay,
if we don't
yeah.
have much to say.
Yeah, we're at almost at 40 minutes.
Okay, well, the first round's obviously going to take the longest.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll be half as long.
And I'm still having fun here. We're having fun. So RFK Jr. versus Donald Trump. Dude, this is a tough one, too, because they're out of the three candidates.
This is literally a choice you're going to have to make, people.
And I was thinking about this even on my way over here. Who would I choose? Gosh, I mean, do you have anything to say about this? Because I'm still thinking.
This is going to be really hard for people to hear, but I think Donald Trump is sort of running his course. I just think I could give a fuck. I mean, I don't know, though, because he's going to start making fun of people again, and we're going to hear more about it, and it's going to be hilarious.
He has been slower.
As soon as I start to say that, I realize, though, that I think he is still going to be funny when the election gets closer.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. That's what's so tough about it, because it's like we can't take him on the, what were the boys? What are the podcasts with the boys?
Oh, Nelk.
Nelk. Okay. You know, he was kind of low energy on that podcast, but we can't compare that to his campaign rally.
But that's because they're being all goofy and they can't take him serious. You know, or I mean, he wants to take everything seriously, you know, until he doesn't.
Yeah.
But on a podcast, he doesn't like to be like thrown. He doesn't want to be in the Dave Portnoy position of, you know, all sorts of references going over my head.
Yeah.
So he just shuts it down.
RFK Jr., though, he does pretty well on the podcasts. At the rallies, I mean, either way, you don't want to listen to him. But I feel like, I don't know. I think we should, in our heart, we know it's right to go with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So now we've got Gary Johnson.
Yeah, I took Elon off the list.
Elon
off the list. Elon Musk list. Okay. That's what I did there. Yeah, I took Elon off the list and put Gary Johnson because we just kind of talked about him briefly a couple times. And I thought it'd be funnier and around at the politicals, you know, who you're voting for president basically is this part of the bracket.
And I almost feel like to just throw a wrench in things, we should just go with Gary Johnson because we don't want to do a repeat. You know, we don't want to spoil our political insight on the 2024 election now by doing a Trump versus Biden thing. So I feel like for that purpose alone, we should just pick Gary Johnson.
Yeah. Well, and it is fortuitous for Trump in the next round because that will be matchup 45.
Oh, true.
So he is 45. Now we are into the intellectual realms. We have Bill Maher, sort of a renegade intellectual. He's made documentaries on atheism and he's going to make one on wokeism.
Yeah, the other religion.
And then you have Zizek, the smartest man who ever lived, who defeated Jordan Peterson and may have to again in the next round.
That's true.
So
that's such a tough one. Good gosh, man. Dude, this is seriously such a great list. I cannot compliment you enough on how incredible these pairings are. Which, speaking of pairings, I don't even know what's down there. But, geez, yeah. Bill Maher.
This is actually, I don't know if I've said it already, but this may be one where it's like, wow, this is tough for me.
Yeah.
Because I like Zizek a lot, but he has a limit. Like, you couldn't listen to him too long. But Bill Maher has a snarky limit.
Yeah.
Where you can only listen to him for so long. It's like if one of them disappeared tomorrow, which would be more disappointing? Well, for the world, it would be Zizek, but
for us, it'd be Bill Maher. Because there's enough Zizek clips that exist now that we can go back on and laugh at and all that stuff.
No, but that still encompasses like us gooning going forward.
That's true.
Like who moves on? Like if they have good material out there already, then that's just stuff we can live. Like Sam Hyde gets to live on. Yeah, he gets to live on the laurels of MD or world peace. You know.
You can call me Gooner. And I said, you can call me Edger.
New rule. If you're going to come to America, you have to speak. You can't spit when you talk. Okay. Bill Maher is such a boomer, though. Like, he's like, he embodies boomer. Like, he wears like a Hawaiian shirt and gives out like bullshit from his garden.
He just wants to listen to...
That's nice, though, I guess.
He wants to smoke weed and listen to rock and roll, okay? And then Zizek is like, life is miserable. Where is my Coke? Diet Coke, the drink. I don't do the drugs. I'm thinking Zizek.
Okay, I like it. That was a tough one.
It was. And now Eric Weinstein, Jordan Peterson. This one's pretty easy. I mean,
well, remember it's Weinstein because I don't think he wants to be Harvey's brother anymore.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want to be associated with
his brother Harvey.
Gotcha. I think Jordan Peterson. This is a knock out of the park. I mean, we're getting this rematch, as you alluded to. So now Leon. Oh wow, jeez, Louise, man, this is gonna be tough. Leon Kennedy versus Joe Camel.
They both have cool ass jackets. That's the first thing I had to say. That are lined with fur or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Oh yeah.
They have the exact same jacket.
That's so awesome. I mean, gosh, they've both been around. They both ran their course for about 20 plus years. I don't even want to say that Joe Camel's not around anymore because of smoking. I mean, what is it? The fight against big tobacco killed Joe Camel. He would be alive and well today if it wasn't for, us Americans being so uptight about smoking. But Joe Camel.
I know you're just trying to go easy.
No,
on
this
him.
hurts.
I know you love Leon.
This hurts to say this, but
you played Resident Evil 4 how many times?
I'm still playing it. It's been out for almost a year, and I'm still playing the remake.
Okay.
So you knew so many times, but
that's crazy.
There is a bliss to the images of Joe Camel that Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4 can't replicate. There's a weird comfort of nostalgia, a loss for something you never had when you see a picture of Joe Camel.
He might be, and we could do this, but he might be the all-time mascot of products too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's probably a few but Toucan Sam, all I can think about. With Joe Camel, you can't think about what's the Michael Scott thing. I'm doing an Office reference now. You can't even think about a cigarette without thinking of a penis now or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Toucan Sam, it's like I can't look at him without him putting it up my butt. But anyway, his big, toucan nose. Leon Kennedy, you don't like, though. You don't like him anymore. You're just going with Joe Camel because of nostalgia. Leon Kennedy was your childhood.
I know he was. But I'm saying, for the broader culture, I can't let my personal bias and love for Leon Kennedy affect, I feel like everybody resonates with Joe Camel, even though they didn't grow up with him. And that alone is a powerful enough statement to say maybe Joe Camel's the one who should go up against one of Sydney Sweeney's boobs. So we'll do Joe Camel.
Yeah, and by the way, we are officially in the cartoon portion, and the reason Sydney Sweeney's breasts is because they're so cartoonishly large.
Yeah.
And they're so big, actually, they couldn't even be included as one entry, so they're competing against one another. Left breast versus right breast, it sort of cuts off there. It's fine.
But what is it, the left brain is the creative one?
Yeah, and the right side is the
logical,
funny side.
Maybe you want the logical side because the breasts are for milk, and so it's like if she has to feed a baby, you don't want the creative side to be like, how could this milk come out? You want the side that's like milk for baby because baby needs milk.
Well, that's why they have to switch, right? Because it's the left tit is attached to the right side of the brain, even though you'd think it'd be the left tit would be the left side of the brain. So the left tit gives what's the right side of the brain? The knowledge or the feelings?
I think it's the...
Okay, and then that would mean that the right side of your mom's breast is...
No,
not your mom's breast, but everybody's mom's breast.
The left is the logic brain because of that Bo Burnham song.
I am the left brain. Yeah. I am the left brain. I sound like Lex Friedman when I'm talking. I am gay.
Yeah. Work very hard to my inevitable death brain. So that would be the right tit.
It goes with the logic.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'd say the right tit.
Because you want to get smarter.
Because the tit needs to feed the baby.
Well, and that's just it too. Well, it needs to feed the baby, and it'll make you smarter. And knowledge is power, and knowing that Sydney Sweeney is, I don't know. I guess I'm saying it's more classy too. It's a better appreciation of her if you go for that one. So let's go with whichever one corresponds to smart. Right breast. Yes.
So.
Okay. Now.
Gex. Now this is not short for gay sex.
No, this is still. Sorry.
Can we get a zoom in on here? Sorry. Go ahead.
Now, I know Sean Murphy's also the Good Doctor is not a cartoon, but he's again cartoonishly autistic.
Yeah.
I had to get 8 cartoon characters. I only had a few, so okay.
I think Gex all the way.
Yeah, because he has, and anybody that hasn't seen Gex, he was a PlayStation 1 character that I really loved, probably as much as even the next two guys we're going to be talking about. He uses so many one-liners, and there's a compilation on YouTube of just Gex 3 one-liners in there. You could listen to it all day.
Exactly. And you know what, Sean Murphy, you're autistic and you don't quote Austin Powers on the regular. Shame on you. As John Taffer would say, shame on you. So Gex it is.
All right, last one on round one.
Yeah.
We've seen all the competitors now, and we've got Spyro the Dragon versus Crash Bandicoot. Now, I feel like I'm more of a Spyro guy, and you're more of a Crash guy.
Of course. I was just about to jump in and say, Crash, please. So, one of my birthdays, I went to an arcade, and on my first try, I tried to win a Crash Bandicoot, a plushie Crash Bandicoot. They said I couldn't do it. It was in like the back right corner. And on my first try, I picked it up and brought it all the way to the little plastic case, and it fell, and I couldn't get it again. I tried like 10 times to get it, but I was so mad that I moved him so far and didn't win him. But I also loved Crash Purple on the Game Boy.
I've played probably most of the games.
Of Crash or Spyro?
Of both.
Okay.
At least whatever early, I don't know what they're making now for Crash, but...
I don't know. It's like Crash 4D chess.
I'm going to say Crash moves on, and here's why. I like Spyro games more, but the character, Crash, is cooler. And I can even see how you relate to him because he's got, he just wears, some shorts and his shirt's off, and he's running around like a madman. And that's basically you.
Yeah.
And I like, and I may be more Spyro inclined myself because I like gathering, and all he does is get gems and stuff. It's sort of just a... But Crash can move on. He's cooler, and he's going to have a hell of a time against Gex next round. But.
Or even Joe Camel. All right.
The round of 32.
Here we go.
Round of 32, everybody. Got Sam Hyde and Bert Kreischer. Now, the rest of this should move a little bit faster because you don't have to retread all the same points.
True. Well, but some of these pairings are pretty interesting. So, look at the second one. Good gosh.
Yeah.
And, Sam Hyde.
Sam Hyde's an easy winner. I think if we don't have to sweat it, we don't pretend to.
Yeah. This is kind of tough, but just because we like Greg more, I would pick Greg in a heartbeat, but maybe two because there's Tom, but I think Greg.
Tom though is so I am going to make some points for both here because Tom is so frustrating. It's crazy actually how much he bothers me. It's the Rick Glassman thing I said where it's like you can be so autistic and then you just alpha people by pretending that you're whatever, and then you can't get through to them.
Yeah, and
so they're always winning because in their mind they're winning, and that's all they need.
That's true.
They don't realize they're lower in the social hierarchy. So I do love that Tom, and the other thing too is Tom will engage with fans. Not that Greg wouldn't, but just the fact that I'm always commenting on Tom's Instagram and he's just, being snarky back at me.
True. And they both have an acting background, right? Because Tom Myers was in like House of Cards or something. Then Greg Turkington was in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and Tom probably would have just done acting if he didn't have to give it up for comedy.
Yeah. You know what? I think you've switched me over. I think I will pick Tom because one of the things about Greg is that he is new. I don't know if I can predict that years down the line, we're still going to reference Greg.
New to us.
Yeah, new to us. But we know Tom Myers has stood the test of time. So I feel like for that reason, we should go with Tom.
But you've been binging all of these on cinemas.
Yeah.
And it's like Greg is just an endless, it's just the subtleties of everything he does is so perfect.
That is true.
And he almost does the bad comedian thing as well as Tom does.
Yeah.
But because Tom does it, for real, Tom just sucks.
Yeah.
And he embodies it. He's a real life fuck
version of it. Yeah. Well, I almost wonder what's better though, the person who can point all that out and then play a character that perfectly replicates that, or somebody who's stupid like Tom and just lives it because they don't ever think about anything that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's the next problem. Now I'm back on Greg because you also paid for the Oscar special, and we got involved with the whole on cinema thing because of Greg. Just seeing the clip of him talk about that Founder movie was so funny. So I don't know.
This is tough.
I know.
I think Greg. I think if we're okay with Greg,
I'm okay with Greg. Bye, Tom. All right, Stavros Halkias and Tim Dillon. It would be interesting just to see the Tims go up against each other. I'm sorry, I'm thinking ahead a little bit. Makes me think Tim Dillon, but Tim D. Ron?
Yeah, I think Tim's still a little bit better than Stav at this point. I don't think Stav... we were nice enough to let him move past Shane. I don't think we're going to let him beat two of his friends. Yeah. I guess he's not friends with them.
I think you're right. Stav is friends with, who's that?
He's more on the Nick and Adam side of things.
Stav is?
No, Tim Dillon is more on that realm. Where the divide exists? Well, I guess Hassan, he
hates Tim Dillon or something.
Well, never. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Now we got Tim Heidecker versus Rob Schneider.
Schneidecker.
Rob
Schneidecker. Tim.
Yeah.
We humored you and we talked about Rob, but he really just only had to go against Dan Schneider. That's the only reason he made it this far.
John Taffer versus Oreo Man. Good gosh, two big guys. And I mean, that God, dude, I'm sorry, it's so hard to do this. What do you think? What initially stands out?
They're both really negative people, but John is more the growth minded. You know, he's like he'll beat you down to get you back up.
True.
You know, to build you back up.
There's no change with Oreo
Stronger.
Man. Yeah, I agree. No.
Okay, Portnoy and Floyd. These are two of my favorite fellas, but I think George really deserves my respect. I mean, I love Dave. I'll watch his stuff forever, but George Floyd will always be funny to me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I can't wait for the next round to see how we decide that. Now we've got Red Bar, Ben Avery, guys. We ain't even kidding. We know Red Bar's gonna win. We gave Ben, the underdog.
Is that Red Bar?
Yeah.
Is that Red Bar? Oh, is that Red Bar? Sorry.
That's what they say when they go up to fight each other. Oh, that's Red Bar. He has like a nice set. Don't act like you haven't watched Red Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Laugh at you and go, what is Tim's, butt buddy over here doing? Let's hear from this guy. Nardwar versus Davis Clark.
I like Nardwar.
I do too.
Mostly because I think he's doing what Davis is doing, but better.
Yeah. And it's in his blood. He's Canadian. So the $20 bill, the new $20 bill from 2004 versus Lex Friedman. I mean, what's the difference, folks? All Lex does is his gay show for a pretty penny.
That's so sweet. You said I'm like a new $20 bill from 20 years ago.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. A $20 bill that's new from 2004 knows what love is. Lex Friedman don't.
But that's sort of the joy of gooning to Lex, is that he's still trying to figure it out, and we're all watching him.
Yeah.
He's learning the ropes of human emotion.
And it's like the same thing with Dave Rubin too, where he's acting like he just learned about libertarianism, but he's like 45. It's like, you really think that you're like dipping your toes into politics, like you're gonna learn about this shit? Like, it's over for you, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the same thing with Lex Friedman, but for love. So I understand exactly what you're saying there.
I do think we have to let Lex move on. I think he's like one of our resident idiots on the show.
I agree.
Okay. The Quentin Tarantino versus the Jewish Gritty Kid. Really, two of our best shorts have been the Tarantino and the Jewish Gritty Kid.
I mean, I think that Quentin Tarantino, for living in Tel Aviv, would let the Jewish Gritty Kid live. Would he not?
Does he get to decide?
Well, I mean, he sacrificed himself for Mother Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think maybe the Jewish Gritty Kid. I don't know. We have referenced Tarantino many times, but...
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Great. Now we've got a...
Did you pick Jewish Gritty Kid?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you pick, but I would say Ariel Pink, probably.
Yeah.
He's going to be going against Tucker Carlson, who interviewed him.
Yeah. I think, okay, I've thought about this for years, by the way, because I've listened to their music for years.
This is like 1A and 1B for you, correct?
Yes.
And we're going to find out what 1A is. But
exactly. And the reason I'm picking Ariel Pink is because, factually speaking, John Mouse would not have made the music he's made if he never met Ariel Pink, because he listened to the music Ariel was making in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it completely changed the way he viewed music. So I think for that, we have to give Ariel Pink the win.
Okay, Tucker is, I think, an easy one here.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch Tucker forever. He's like sort of not as good now, but he's still doing crazy stuff. I mean, I'm gonna watch any big interview he does probably. So
exactly,
he has me by the balls.
Hell yeah. Donald Trump, Gary Johnson. I mean, this is so easy. Donald Trump.
On one hand, can you let?
Oh,
let's
sorry.
Let it play out.
I thought you wanted to go fast.
It'll be Trump. No, you're right.
We're gonna switch it. Then I'll let you. I don't know. I don't know what you want from me.
I want to say this about Gary Johnson.
Okay.
I want to say that in Gary's America, we'd be smoking kush, we'd be hanging out, we'd fucking people of all ages.
Yeah.
In Donald Trump's America, it's fascisto, man. Mm-hmm. It's like the worst of the worst, bro.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, Donald Trump we like more. Okay. Gary Johnson's just funny to move on. Okay.
Oh, wow. Rematch.
Zizek's eating his lunch again.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
We're gonna
Jordan Peterson puts up like 11 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. He stinks.
And here's a compliment. You're a weird communist. And, oh, hang on, my Windows tablet laptop has to update.
Yeah. And the moment you're referencing, for people who don't know, is when he goes, you're sort of a strange communist, and that's like halfway in when he just realizes he has nothing to say because he doesn't understand anything Zizek's saying. Not because he's hard to understand, blah, 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 but because he's so much smarter.
Yeah.
So Zizek whoops him.
Hell yeah. Joe Camel versus Sydney Sweeney's right tit.
Okay.
I'm going to, sometimes when you're a baby, you need to have mother's milk before you can start smoking cigarettes. But again, there's that nostalgic factor to Joe Camel. He's got that edge to him. You've seen him in many different he's an actor of his own in all those posters of him.
Yeah, well, Sydney Sweeney's right breast tries to seem a lot cooler than it actually is, and Joe Camel just is cool. I mean, he didn't ask to be cool. He sort of defined an entire generation of cool. I mean, it's not like people were wearing like leather jackets or sunglasses before Joe Camel.
Right.
So he sort of started those trends.
And like, you know, Joe Camel without the leather jacket is still cool. Nobody has talked about Sydney Sweeney's boob. They only talk about her boobs.
True.
So if there's one of them, then there's none of them.
And it really makes you wonder, why is it even here then? Because, you know, how did this boob, the single boob, even make it this far? What, did it beat another boob to get here?
Yeah, exactly.
So Joe Camel.
Should have been Drake and Josh if we're over here talking about boobs.
Drake and Josh probably could have been on the list.
Yeah, I guess they could have.
Next time. Next March Madness.
Yeah. Gex versus Quash Bandicoot, essentially.
Gex is so cool. I mean, this is going to be a crazy matchup.
I know. This is going to be tough.
That could be the person that comes out on top of the whole thing.
I wouldn't doubt it. So, okay, here we go. We're on the, what do you call this? The Sweet 16?
Mm-hmm.
And why do they call it the dance, by the way? Who's dancing?
My Sestiera. Wait, how would you say that?
Siesta?
Well, I was going quinceañera, but then I was trying to go like 16.
Oh, I thought you... No, I said nap. So
okay. Wow. Two very important people.
Two people that we almost laugh at every time we just see them. And we just did. We just saw them. We just laughed. So I think Sam.
Yeah.
I lean towards Sam. Sorry,
we have
Greg.
to be true to ourselves. Yeah. And it's not that it's tough to pick Sam. It's just that we really love Greg right now.
Yeah.
But luckily...
Where does this go? Oh, okay. Wait, is there a whole nother? Oh, okay. I think there's
another side.
Team D Ron versus Tim. Oh my gosh. Now a new rematch of the century coming up. Because, I mean, we're going to pick Tim Heidecker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so. Sorry, fat faggot.
Wow, this is juicy.
I know, damn.
A couple of blue bloods going at it.
Yeah. John Tapper. Oh, my gosh. I can't breathe. You can't work. That's...
You're going to go to work on all that fentanyl or whatever the fuck you said.
Get out. Get out of the restaurant.
Damn. Well, in many ways, John Taffer, he's always positioning his head the way that George Floyd's head was when it was being crushed on the ground. The sort of side-cocked thing.
He's always doing a George Floyd impression. Geez, Louis. I mean, I think George Floyd, and now it is getting a little easier.
If there's two things I live for, food and George Floyd. Imagine losing your sense of taste
forever. And then like the iPad like bomb like delays, like we're gonna fix that.
Yeah, that's got to be one of your favorite Red Bar clips. I don't know if we shouldn't just insert that there.
Imagine losing your taste forever.
I live for two things: George Floyd and food. All right. Sorry, this is all delayed. It's because Apple removed the headphone jack, and now you got to do it digitally through this connector here, and it's a mess. We're gonna fix it on the next show.
Yeah.
Again, because that's too good. Because it's the tech part of it mixed with just him, food, George Floyd, and tech. That's you in three things.
Now that we're talking George Floyd, or not George Floyd, Red Bar clips, another one of my favorites is he's talking about Hey Big Mike, his mom, and he's like, the Hey Big Mike's mom is a lot like the mom from Requiem for a Dream, and he hits the bomb button, but the audio's like turned way up, so it's like, and then he's like, whoa, and he reaches for the sound bar and like turns it down, and then he's like, Big Mike's mom is like the mom from Requiem for a Dream.
Red Bar.
Yeah.
I love Nardwar.
But Red Bar is
Red Boar.
Red Bar. Red Bar. Red Bar. Yeah.
Okay, Red Bar is
Lex Friedman versus the Jewish Gritty Kid. I mean, he shows more emotion than Lex has in his life, but Lex is still Lex.
I know. Lex, the thing about Lex is, for the most part, he's a very boring person, but he finds himself in situations like the book list, which we covered extensively when he decided he was going to take the very intelligent move of reading 1984 at age 45, or whatever he is.
At age 1984.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So I know we can count on him to do more. That Jewish Gritty Kid, it's sort of he just blurs in with every other kid in the yeshiva.
Mm-hmm. One-hit wonder. So we're Lex.
Yeah, I think at this point in the bracket, we got to. I mean, there's going to be a Cinderella story, but sometimes the better team just wins.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ariel Pink versus Tucker Carlson. I mean, I obviously am going to pick Ariel Pink, but what I will quickly say about Tucker Carlson is, Tucker Carlson invited Ariel Pink on his show, so there's a power dynamic there. Ariel Pink didn't invite Tucker to sing on one of his albums, so I understand why someone would pick Tucker, but I'll let you have the floor.
I understand why the coin's going to have a really tough decision with this one, because I'm going with Tucker. I love Ariel Pink, but Tucker is such a silly,
Yeah. Let's get that coin out.
Okay. I'm sorry to do this. I know you really love Ariel Pink. This isn't to say that Ariel Pink isn't the most important thing in the world to us.
Right.
Or you.
Yeah.
But Tucker's funny. So we're going to go with the traditional format.
Head is Ariel.
Yeah, head is Ariel. Tails is Tucker, of course.
I've always been a bottom.
All right. And we got George's face. So George Floyd's face. So we got Ariel Pink going
Hell yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. Trump and Zizek. So these are two ideologically very opposed people.
Can I say real quick, did you see Vivek Ramaswamy and thought, let me just do Zizek instead? Because I was confused.
I think, no, did we have Vivek on the list?
I don't know if we did. I honestly don't know if we put Zizek or Vivek on.
I want to say that I swapped out maybe 2 or 3.
But anyway, imagining a debate between these two.
Yeah, it could not be, there would be no real communication at all.
If there's one thing that we agree on, it is that we both love Diet Coke. But the agreements end there.
Damn, that is true. They both love that. Diet Coke. Nah, Zizek drinks regular Coke, which is, I don't know. What are you thinking?
About between the two of them?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Damn, we forgot Dasha too, but that's somebody else I took off. I took off a woman you gave me, Candace Owens.
Okay, Candace own that.
Okay, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. Now the true fight for mascotdom.
I think Joe Camel did what Gex does earlier, but Gex is a spy. Joe Camel does just sit around and smoke cigarettes for all we know, because Joe Camel's in a million different positions. He's skydiving, he's rock climbing.
Because you can smoke anywhere.
He's
back in his
spelunking.
day. Yeah.
So
he's at a gas station with a cigarette next to the gas pump. You know what? I will pick Joe. My vote is for Joe Camel because, Gex is always quoting others. Joe Camel is always doing his own thing. He's staying original and true to himself.
That's all I needed to hear.
All right, guys. Now it's the final 4.
No.
The final 8.
The Elite 8.
The Octane.
Well, I don't know.
8.
See, maybe we'll get taken down as March Madness. It's like the Super Bowl, the Superb Owl, the big game.
Yeah.
Is March Madness also that way? I don't know.
I don't either.
So the final 8.
So Sam Hyde versus Tim Heidecker. I mean, this is very tough. This is another thing that I think about often in my spare time.
Yeah, like father, like son.
Yeah.
In many ways, but then did Sam just do it better?
I think Sam did it in his own way, and they're both very accomplished people too. That's the tough thing. But Sam, I will say this about him. He has yet to do something that just full on sucks. Tim Heidecker had the show called like Moonbase 8 that my wife and I tried to watch a few years ago, and it sucked. And you mentioned the Tim and Eric show sucks.
It's not funny.
So,
and the whole thing is, okay, fine, I can appreciate the editing and the time and place that it was, and then it was ahead of its time for silly cuts and stuff, whatever. But it's not funny.
Yeah.
And there are flops. And there's also the one when they have the house. Have you seen that Tim and Eric bedtime stories or something?
I know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
It wasn't very good. So Tim does have misses, mostly when he works with Eric, which is why Eric wasn't even in the tournament.
Yeah.
He's in the loser bracket.
Yeah.
Sam Hyde
number 1. Sam Hyde versus George Floyd. And now we have George Floyd versus Red Bar. Oh, shit. Again, Red Bar says he can't live. This is like the Jewish kid versus Quentin Tarantino situation. Red Bar says he can't live without George Floyd. George Floyd, as far as we know, was never a Red Bar fan. Mm-hmm. So again, you've got that existing power dynamic, and it's important to acknowledge that.
Well, and Red Bar will do it all for a show. He'll do a gimmick, he'll do a song and dance. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
But as soon as he gets into a weed dispensary and sees a Mexican guy, he's hiding away. Mm-hmm. He's acting like a scared Jewish guy.
And George Floyd gets his confidence booster, fentanyl, and then he can do anything, even if you're a cop, a racist one, or Chinese one. So I think George Floyd is, he's moving up.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike.
Okay.
Wow, Juvie Jew.
True. Okay.
I think in terms of goon ability, for the sake of the show, I said to you yesterday, I said,
You just don't want it to go to the coin again.
No, listen to this. Listen to what I'm about to say.
You know that Ariel Pink's going to be relying on a coin to win this chip.
Hang on. No, he's not. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Yesterday, what did I say when you said you'd make this bracket? I said, I will try to make it fun. And now here is that one time where I'm going to make it fun because in terms of goon ability, we have gooned to Lex more than we've gooned to Ariel Pink. So I will set aside my personal love for Ariel Pink and understand why Lex Friedman goes on.
A trip to the Final Four. It's a huge honor for Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
Love you, Ariel Pink.
But unfortunately, Mossad has taken you out. So, wow.
These are literally...
Fuck. Donald.
Joe, this is what's crazy about Joe Camel's path has not been easy. Joe Camel has been taking down frauds, phonies that were, trying to basically rip him off. He's just a better version. He plays offense and defense, both sides of the ball. He's a two-way player. Trump, all offense, and that's pretty tough. Joe Camel can't always contain him, but the defense for Trump, not so good,
I know.
He's too busy being aggressive fouling.
And I realize now I keep going back to this power structure, but I can imagine in my head Trump being like, remember Joe Camel? We used to be a country. And I know that's not a real clip. Trump would probably never say that, but I can imagine him saying that. And make America great again. When was America great? Oh, when Joe Camel was on the cover of every magazine.
Yeah. GQ.
So I am thinking Joe Camel.
I mean, the thing is with Joe Camel is that Trump really does get bothered by people, and he has to attack back. And I've just never seen Joe Camel. Joe Camel got canceled, and he might be the only person who didn't go, oh, I got canceled.
Yeah.
The first person ever.
This is what he did.
He kept being cool.
Yeah, he threw his arms up, and he went, all right, light me a cig.
And he started his own platform, and he's doing his own thing.
Yeah. Joe Camel.
All right.
Tube.
This is going to be hell of a Final Four.
Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. So we've got
Sam Hyde and George Floyd.
Yeah.
representing the East and West.
Yeah.
The East side and West side of the brackets.
Jeez. I don't even know. I don't know where to begin with this one. George or Sam. We can't leave. At this point, there are no coin tosses either.
True.
We can't do that. So Sam Hyde, again, has created a form of culture, but there are no murals of him like there are of Mr. Floyd. But I just think that if George Floyd were still alive today, he would most likely be acting for Alex Stein, therefore making him a freeloader on the show Fish Tank.
And he would...
Oh, and so, which would put him below Sam, who would be like the master of the house.
I'm just thinking purely in terms of what I like more, and I do think Sam wins. And I can't believe George isn't going to get that coveted title, but I do.
know.
Sam could win the whole damn thing because to me, he's in the championship.
He
I mean,
is.
we could if we need to commence again.
Yeah.
If you like George and we need to commence, we can keep discussing it.
I think Sam.
Okay. All right. He's there. He's made it.
George has only made me laugh once.
Well, but it was for 8 minutes straight.
Yeah. So Lex Friedman versus Joe Camel.
I mean, this is the most out of it guy ever versus the most in guy ever.
Could he... I mean, part of me wants to see Sam kill Lex Friedman, because and that's the new bit that Sam is on too, is that he wants to kill Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
So part of me wants to give it to Lex for that reason. And we also, again, we got to crunch the numbers. As much as we love Joe Camel, blah, 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 nostalgia, magazines, the Hollywood Hills, we have Goon to Lex more. And it would be more of a final
it's
showdown.
True, but you've made the strongest case. And I really thought Joe Camel wouldn't be, in your mind, this important. I mean, I know we respect him as a person. I didn't know that you had felt so strongly. And really, we've just made him out to be quite literally the coolest thing that's ever existed.
I know.
So it does feel like we're just turning our back on Joe if we go with Lex.
But that grave's not going to be too lonely
and
for Joe.
the other thing
with
too
George.
is how competitive of a final is that, Sam and Lex? I mean, Sam's gonna kill Lex, and I almost don't want to do the disservice of, but it's almost like who wins this, it makes it obvious who's gonna win the championship.
Yeah.
Joe Camel. But so I don't know. I don't know that I can turn my back on Joe Camel. We've actually, I'd say, spent more time talking about Joe Camel than any person on this episode.
Creating a secondary goon sesh for Joe.
Mm-hmm. But he's sort of been dominating the conversation. It's like during the 2016 Republican primaries, Trump would get all the airtime. Even when they wouldn't, other people would mention him, and then he'd get to respond. And so it was just a Boulder effect, or what? No, not Boulder. What am I going for? Snowball. The frozen boulder effect. A boulder made of snow. I mean, if you will, a boulder made of snow, where it starts off as a small boulder, but because of the snow can add to it.
And Sisyphus pulled the boulder up to the hill and let go, by the way, at the beginning.
Okay. It's a bouldering effect.
That was funny.
All right. I just think Sam's going to wipe the floor with Lex, and that's kind of anticlimactic, but
yeah, I don't know. It's tough. The numbers say Lex, but the story says Joe. And there's one thing that we love to goon to. It ain't numbers.
But it is a story, and people come for a story.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why Joe's got to go up.
All right.
So here we go, folks.
Now you might just do you mind Googling Sam Hyde, Joe Camel, and just see if there's ever been any kind of mention of them together? So no. Okay. So no interaction between these two, which is rare because a lot of the people that were having to face each other throughout the bracket have, seen each other. But I guess Sam was literally the top person in the bracket, and the cartoons were toward the bottom. So, I mean, this guy is so fucking good. Joe Chemo. Well, that's not even a real advertisement.
Yeah.
That's literally a hit campaign probably started by Sam.
The freaking woke mind virus. That's him infected by the woke mind virus. So, I mean, this is Josh.
And that's just it, too. It's not like he's doing a photo op. Sam's doing a photo op here. He took a bunch of niacin and is about to explode.
Joe is just hanging out playing the piano.
That he was just caught playing piano.
Yeah.
He didn't know Getty Images was going to be there.
They're both artists. They're both beacons of culture. And but one of them has to stand the test of time. But
the problem is you're going back and forth. Well, Sam, and this is the thing, too, about both of them. Joe is in so many different, versions of himself. He can play, the piano player, the rock climber, the skier. And Sam Hyde also, he does a Willy Wonka thing.
He does,
Jedediah or whatever, Gold Striker.
Yeah. And, Trex and the black guy from the breakup skit. Sometimes when we think of Sam Hyde, we think of him as the blonde with the machine gun, or we think of what you mentioned, him with his beanie on, the webcam screenshot. They both wear many masks, and but it's not masks. It's just different expressions of themselves, which is what makes this decision so hard.
I think we have to, in the episode now, we'll do an entire hour special on just this matchup, and that's that.
Really?
No.
Okay. I was going to say...
Well, I'm gonna go with Sam. I think Sam is the force that ties us. The force. Jeez, using force and Sam Hyde in the same sentence, not a good choice of words. But
I agree.
He's the thing that ties us together, maybe the most.
He is, and we can thank Nelson for that.
Thank you, Nelson, for showing us Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde's the winner of the Gooner bracket. We'll be gooning to him forever, and we're very happy that his production and output is not slowed down.
Yes.
At all over the years.
Sam, you are number one. Yeah, you're our favorite. Everything you make is funny. And so this is our bonus episode. And
by the way, don't think Joe Camel doesn't have a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Whoa. What's that coming out of the grave? Oh my gosh. It's a camel hand with a cigarette, and then another camel hand with a lighter lighting the cigarette, and then fade to black.